Sermon on the track today comes from 2 Corinthians. A stingy planter gets a stingy crop. A lavish planter gets a lavish crop. Now, I know this sounds like common sense, but it's something that I think we need to really appreciate and take a step back. I would define stingy in 3 ways, and this is a working definition. Little or no faith, little or no trust, and unwilling to make oneself vulnerable. And I'd define lavish in the exact opposite way. You have faith, you're trusting, and you're willing to make yourself vulnerable. Sometimes we have to put ourselves in situations where we're vulnerable to help ourselves grow. I think of the story of Abraham as a great example. When God called on Abraham to leave where he was to go to the land of the unknown, it was certainly a test of his faith, and Abraham had to make himself vulnerable by doing that. Abraham could have just thrown his hands up, said, I'm not doing that, but instead he made himself vulnerable. How many times do we have it in our lives where we feel burdened or called to do something, but it's just easier to just not do it, so we don't? That is stingy. So what does it look like then to be lavish? When we have new opportunities that come our way, we can look at it as a blessing. If it's a new business opportunity, we can recognize it's going to take a lot of work and it might not work. And so by having faith and taking that opportunity, that's an example of being lavish. Now, being stingy, being lavish, I could even break that down to being on the track and doing a workout on the track. If I'm being stingy with the workouts, my next track meet, I might as well not even show up. But if I'm being lavish, I always think about this. There's nobody here. There's literally nobody here right now. Now, my point is, it's a gift. Everything is a gift. Jesus being lavish and giving himself on the cross was a gift. As followers of Christ, we need to learn to adopt this idea of being lavish in everything that we do. And one of the first things that God says to man is to be fruitful. Be lavish, bear fruit with everything that we do. And so if we're being stingy, we're the fig tree that bears no fruit. So all I'm saying is, it's a good reminder to reflect on our own lives. Are we being stingy or are we being lavish? And my best advice to anyone is honestly, pray about it. Ask God to open your eyes to ways in your life that you're being stingy and ways in your life that you need to be lavish. God is our guidance. He is our compass. He will never mislead us or forsake us. Anyways, that's the sermon on the track today.